Lee Jones here from Hotspawn, and I'm joined by Hyunmin after an opening win in VCT Specific Stage 1. Obviously, congrats on the win. I wanted to ask just about, firstly, about how in pretty much all three maps there was like quite big swings, like from defense to attack for both teams as well. And Alex, in his like post-match press conference, he said neither team could play defense. What are your thoughts on that? Is it like a meta thing, do you think, or why do you think that was happening today?
Um, I'm actually not sure. I think the icebox game we weren't hitting our shots, so we lost. But yeah, it's actually pretty surprising that both teams couldn't really defend.
hmm Especially like I think
Mm,
the most drastic one from my perspective was in the first map for you guys at least, 8-0 down, and then you ended up I think winning like
mm.
10 rounds in a row. What was it like, even like mentality wise, the shift going from that and the kind of vibes in the match?
Our team fights were like actually pretty good. We were down 0-8, but it didn't feel like that at all. And I think we just kept just playing our game, and then we came back.
hmm What did you think of your own performance as well, especially like map 3, you were on fire.
Mm. Yeah, I think I've popped off on map 3, but I think that's a good sign, and I think we won because we all played great today.
Sure. Um, what do you make of PRX at the moment on the whole? Because obviously in kickoff, things didn't go that well for them. I guess it's only the first match for them, so maybe hard to gauge a little bit. But yeah, how do you see their trajectory at the moment?
Uh, PRX is a very strong team, and I still believe they're like one of the top teams in Pacific. And I think they're just experimenting a lot of different comps that they haven't been trying. So yeah, I think with more time, they'll be actually like really, really, really good team.
Sure. Well then, with them, yeah, with them being a strong team still, what are your thoughts on the two groups in Pacific? Like, it kind of seems like your one is a bit more, pretty stacked. Your side of
Mm.
the groups. What do you think on that?
Yeah, I would agree. I would say our group is has more stronger teams than the other, but I think they're equally strong as well.
Right, just maybe like between Masters Bangkok and now, then, what have you guys been up to in that time? Did you have a bit of a break, or were you straight back to practice? What was that? Yeah, what was that little time like?
Oh yeah, after coming back from Masters Bangkok, we had like about 1 week to rest, and I think we just went back straight to practice and started working on stuff we needed to improve on, and yeah.
Sure. Um, I just want to ask a bit more, kind of a bit on your background. I haven't seen you do too many interviews and giving too much away. And obviously, you're like,
Mm.
well, at least this year coming into VCT, you're known at least in Pacific, I think, as the youngest player. Um, and I was,
Oh, I
doing,
didn't know.
yeah, so I think so, but just doing the very basic maths, with your age, when Valorant came out, you would have been what, like 13.
Mm.
Um, were you playing like straight away,
Mm.
like literally since that age?
Oh yeah, when Valorant first came out during its beta season, I got like an access code and I started playing from then. Yeah.
Yeah. And were you always like into competitive games like that? Was there any other games you played growing up as well?
Yeah, I started competitive games at a very, very, very young age, especially like shooter games, and I think that also helped with becoming a pro Valorant player.
And even in like those early days of Valorant as well, were you always into the esports side? Were you watching tournaments and things?
Mm. At first, I was just playing the game because it was just honestly super fun. And once I started getting more into the game, I started watching the competitive side, and I also wanted to be like a part of a pro team. And I'm finally happy that I was able to make that happen.
Sure. Well, when you were like starting getting into watching the pro play, then who were there any players you looked up to?
Mm. Uh, Something funny is I actually watch a lot of DRX play, the old Vision Strikers, and being able to play for them is honestly super cool.
Amazing. Um,
Mm.
I wanted to ask a bit just about your kind of background as well, because obviously, well, I noticed on
Mm.
your Twitter profile you have like the Korean and the US
Mm.
flag, and obviously your English is very good. So I'm guessing did you grow up at some point, or have you spent time in the US as well in
Yeah.
North America?
So I was born in Korea, but I moved to the States, particularly Hawaii, when I was 3 years old, and I stayed there for about 15 years, so
hmm
until I was 17, 16-ish. Yeah. Yeah, I lived there almost. I lived in the US more than Korea.
Sure. Well, what was that? What was that transition like? Was there any kind of culture shocks, or what was maybe some of the more surprising differences?
Um, Not really, because at home we would speak Korean at our household and just similar stuff. Yeah, so there was nothing really like big changes or anything.
Sure. Um, well, maybe just yeah, bringing it back to the game then. Looking ahead towards the rest of the season, obviously, you've come in VCT and you've won at least in Pacific. You won kickoff straight away, so not a bad start.
Mm.
But yeah, what's the goals for the rest of the year?
Uh, so far is to qualify for playoffs and of course Masters Toronto as well. And I think the year-long goal is to also qualify for champs and bringing the Champions Trophy back
Sure.
home.
Do you feel you guys are the team to beat in Pacific at the moment? Obviously, winning kickoff, but then there was the the famous rematch against T1 at Bangkok that they got the better of that time. So how do you feel you guys are? Where's your level right now?
I think I would say we're the top four teams. I wouldn't say which, but yeah, I
Modest.
would say we're the top four in Pacific so far.
Sure. Nice one. Well, maybe we'll leave it there then, Hyunmin. Congratulations once again,
Mm,
and yeah,
thank
good
you.
luck in the rest of stage one.